Hello everyone. Welcome to the Fast Meal Product Solution Overview and Demo. My name is Alex Oakley and I started at Delaware a little over a year ago, and I have been working on the meal product solution ever since. So what you're going to see throughout this presentation today is that Delaware has some really fantastic intellectual property that optimizes SAP's processes with our own unique series of cockpits. You're also going to see that these cockpits group together SAP transactions into one transaction instead of having multiple separate apps, so it saves a lot of time. You will also see that these cockpits automate the creation of master data, which cuts processing time by as much as 90%. Here's a quick content slide of what I'm going to go over. First, I'm going to do just a quick summary of Delaware, and then I'm also going to do a summary of the meal product solution. We'll go into a deep dive of the 4 cockpits we have here: the engineering cockpit, the pricing cockpit, SKU cockpit, and the sequence planning composer app. And then we will finish up with some production planning and detailed scheduling. So to start out, Delaware is an international company with over 5,000 professionals in 19 countries. As of last year, we are one of 11 global SAP Platinum partners, and we are super excited this year to be Pinnacle Award winners, which is recognizing our achievements and contributions as an SAP partner. So first of all, time to value is key here in the meal product solution. We offer guidance on manufacturing specific processes by providing our industry best practices. We also reduce or eliminate the need for custom code. We can eliminate it completely, which saves a lot of time. We assure faster implementations, which leads to faster time to value, and we are currently working on our 2023 release. So a quick summary of the 4 cockpits that we have here. First, we will start with the engineering cockpit. So this cockpit is going to take details from the inquiry and convert them into a product family that we will later use in the SKU cockpit. This cockpit is also going to automate the creation of master data such as material master, BOM, and routing, which again will cut a lot of time. The next unique cockpit is going to be the pricing cockpit. In this cockpit, we can scale pricing based off of contribution margin and quantity. We can save this scale pricing directly to the quote in S4. Next, we have the SKU cockpit. In this SKU cockpit, we're going to be able to make those individual products based off of that product family in the engineering cockpit. And finally, we have the sequence planning composer app. This is going to group together orders into what we call mill combined orders. That's going to save a lot of time down the road. So we're going to start at the beginning of our process. And in this presentation, we are going to focus on a folded carton example, but we do have similar functionality capabilities for metals and wiring and thin film as well. So first, your customer will ask what you have to offer, and they will generally ask for a quote as well. While talking, we'll just get general information, right? So in the folded carton industry, that will be what the package is going to be made out of, what's going to be in that package, if there's any specialty inks, anything that's really going to be cost effective in this situation. And we are going to add all of this general information onto this inquiry material. Now, we do have different inquiry materials based off of the different industry verticals. That is, thin film, wiring, so on and so forth. So in this example, we're going to be using a folded carton inquiry material. So we have some general information on there, and we are going to be able to use that to search for a similar product family using a family search function. And that's going to be on that inquiry as well. So we can search for similar product families, we can find one that's very similar, we can choose that, and we can move into the engineering cockpit. So I'm going to pause here for a second because this is really where we can split in 2 different directions. So you can see that there is a standard product here, which makes this really easy for us because we've made this product before, so we can immediately go to the customer quotation. We can price that quotation in the pricing cockpit, and we can send out that customer quote. The alternative is if it's not a standard product. If it's not a standard product, we're going to put a service material on that inquiry, which is going to trigger our team to go into the engineering cockpit. And there, the production planner is really going to focus on what is net new about this product family, right? So are there new materials? What specs really need to be changed about this? Once they have decided that, they can generate that product structure in the engineering cockpit. And again, that's the material master, the BOM, the routing, and we'll get to that in a second. Then they can continue on the same path where they can create the customer quotation, they can price that in the pricing cockpit, and then they can send that quote out to the customer. So we move into the engineering cockpit, and we are going to follow a non-standard folded carton example here. So this is going to convert the details of an inquiry into an actual product family that we can eventually, or we will quote in later. This will reduce the amount of time that we spend creating master data because we can automatically create the material master, the BOM, and the routing, as well as different production versions and some specification documents. This cockpit will also be able to create the quote directly from here, which is really nice and saves a lot of time. So we created the quote in the engineering cockpit, and so now we are going to go ahead and price that in the pricing cockpit. So here we are going to have contribution margin and quantity and price, and we'll be able to scale that based off of different quantities. And again, we can use these three interchangeably. So we can adjust one and the other two can adjust as well. And then we can save this price directly into the quote. So we're just gonna update that, which we can do in the pricing cockpit automatically. Okay, so we started with an inquiry where we had a template material. We went into the engineering cockpit, we created that product family, and then we quoted that product family and we priced it in the pricing cockpit. So now we are going to create our individual product SKUs in the SKU cockpit. First, we're going to create a sales order. The customer is happy with the quote, so we're going to create a sales order, and we're going to add a service material onto that sales order because right now it has that product family on there. So adding that service material is going to trigger our team to go into the SKU cockpit, and there we'll create those individual product SKUs. And we can come back later and update the sales order with these individual SKUs. So moving into the SKU cockpit. In the folded carton example, here's where we're really going to choose the specific designs, just different colors, anything that just makes that design unique. We can choose the printing area, the printing method, and specific ink colors as well. And here we can actually send the design directly to the customer, which can be approved as part of the pre-press run, which is followed by release. And although this is folded carton specific, we have similar functionalities for different industries as well.
The product data model in the folding carton industry is based on leveraging variant configuration. We use configurable materials for the basic BOM and routing. And we have also, for the drawings, which are associated with the product family, so-called SAP document management info records, where we can link drawings from the CAD system or graphic designs. The second part of the product family concept is basically the SKUs. So the industry is known for various different flavors and language versions of packaging because the consumer products we are packing with them are requiring that. So the idea is to avoid redundancy in the master data. Hence we are using material variants in SAP concept and link those with the configurable materials. That's indicated in the slide you are seeing. And on top, we have the graphics design document and imposition documents, which hold basically the artwork we receive from the customer and which we have to convert in printing tools, like you see on the lower end, where the step and repeat file is shown, where multiple ups of the same one up is shown.
So continuing on in the process. So we're now in the second half. We had an inquiry all the way up into a quote, and now we are going to move from that quote all the way up to production. So as we're gearing up for production, we're going to move into our sequence planning composer app. So like I said in the overview, this is actually going to combine orders into what we call mill combined orders. This app can sequence these orders to optimize the delivery tolerance, reduce waste, and minimize plate and color changes between products. This is also going to support planning to identify short-run orders with similar product specifications, such as shape, substrates, and inks. And this cockpit is key because it allows the production planner, to identify things that really matter, such as which machine we should use as compared to calculating runtime, setup time, or scrap. Now here you can see the sequence planning composer itself. And again, we are talking folded carton in this case. So this is actually going to be a plugin to the sequence planning cockpit, and the results from this are going to be transferred to the sequence planning cockpit.
The SAP PPDS is also a vital component of the packaging workflow. However, Delaware has also built necessary extensions for the PPDS. So one feature is a better integration of the SAP variant configuration, which we use to leverage changes in production versions. So as we do complex quantity calculations and waste calculations based on various production versions, we need to have the variant configuration following the selected production version. A second functionality is that we use our functionality to improve the capabilities for change over time calculation. As the parameters which influence the change over time at a packaging product is primarily tools and color changes, it is quite important to understand which impact the color change has on the product. The traditional change over time calculation is based on matrices. However, for an almost infinite number of colors, it's hard to maintain matrix data. So this is one of the key functionalities we have implemented as well. So we do not need to build extensive matrices. We have a dynamic change over time calculation in our tool.
The final step of this process is going to be mill production and delivery. So here's where we're actually going to make those individual product SKUs. We are also going to make those mill combined orders. We can hand it over to a manufacturing execution system, such as one that Delaware has co-innovated with SAP, DM4Mill, and then we can eventually transfer that to EWM and for customer delivery. So, key takeaways. These cockpits accelerate time to value while optimizing productivity. They increase responsiveness to new inquiries and confidently quote new and existing products. Given a price, quantity, and a contribution margin, we can scale the pricing. We also have the pre-configured model that is built on variant configuration. And you can see this variant config and the options that are available in our solution, as well as our different routing options available. We can easily leverage this content to easily combine orders with similar properties and optimize your utilization while minimizing your manufacturing cost. Here you can see some examples of the customers that we have. We have a deep experience in this industry. We have been around for over 30 years perfecting this solution. And as you can see, we have a lot of customers, and this has been implemented globally. The mill product industry is a very complex sector covering many different areas, which we call microverticals. These microverticals share similar back office processes, such as how orders are processed. In Delaware's FAST solution, based on the mill solution and our own industry best practices, we cover these verticals making up the industry. This includes make to order and is even flexible enough for make to stock. This will even support different industries that are related, such as flooring, vapor barriers, cans, wallpaper, and plastics and metals such as sheeting and rolled. So again, Delaware has some pre-configured intellectual property built on mill industry processes and best practices. With this connected end-to-end process and our own custom IP cockpits, we lead into more efficient transactional processing. This allows for faster time to market and improved floor shop control, as well as optimizing production planning and capacity utilization. This leads to lower total cost of ownership and operational savings. And all of this will be built on Industry 4.0 standards. If you have any questions, please contact us. We have our Managing Director of Sales, John Gretter, as well as our Managing Partner of Delaware Germany, Michael Lauterbach. We have our Delaware North American partner, Richard Seal, and of course, myself. Thank you for your time.